Oh, awesome. I didn't. Well, hey, people, this is Chris Lucas. Today's 12, um, 2020. And I guess I got someone that says they'll call in. I mean, it's kind of like you can just click the StreamYard button if you want. That'd be awesome if you called in. Um, but yeah. Hey, also I wasn't sure if you were gonna have a show today or not because I know you said something about doing something. I don't think I'm working today. I'm still not really sure about that yet. But yeah. If anyone wants to be on, all you gotta do is just click the link, and you're on. I guess I'll just play this one clip if, while I'm seeing if anyone is gonna join in.
What is it? What is it about humanity that wants to go to all the details and stuff and listen? These guys like Fauci get up there and start talking. He doesn't know anything really about anything, and I'd say that to his face. Nothing. The man thinks you can take a blood sample and stick it in an electron microscope, and if it's got a virus in there, you'll know it. He doesn't understand electron microscopy, and he doesn't understand medicine, and he should not be in a position like he's in. Most of those guys up there on the top are just total administrative people, and they don't know anything about what's going on the bottom. Those guys have got an agenda, which is not what we would like them to have, being that we pay for them to take care of our health in some way. They've got a personal kind of agenda. They make up their own rules as they go. They change them when they want to, and they smugly, like Tony Fauci, does not mind going on television in front of the people who pay his salary and lie directly into the camera. You can't expect the sheep to really respect the best and the brightest. They don't know the difference, really. I mean, I like humans. Don't get me wrong, but basically, the vast majority of them do not possess the ability to judge who is and who isn't a really good scientist. I mean, that's a problem. That's a main problem actually with science, I'd say, in this century, because science is being judged by people. Funding is being done by people who don't understand it. Okay, who do we trust? Fauci. Fauci doesn't know enough to. If Fauci wants to get on television with somebody who knows a little bit about this stuff and debate him, he could easily do it because he's been asked. I mean, I've had a lot of people. President of the University of South Carolina asked Fauci if he'd come down there and debate me on the stage in front of the student body because I wanted somebody who was from the other side to come down there and balance because I felt like, well, these guys can listen to me, but I need to have somebody else done.
So that was someone news. This is a person who's kind of new to me called Critical Inception. They had that clip on their channel, so I thought I'd share that with everybody and let everybody know what his channel is. I don't know what else. Oh, do they? I think they believe in flat Earth. I don't know if that bothers anyone. It doesn't really bother me. I mean, I don't think you're ever gonna agree with anyone 100%. I feel pretty good if I agree with someone even 25% of the time. So, um, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of like the way you grow, right? You're with people with different views, and they might say something, and you might find that it helps you refine your own truth. So, I guess that's all I'm really trying to look for is people to help refine my understanding and my education. Um, I know there's some people that sure hate it. Um, got into it with Wayne Levy Price today. So I was like, man, really, you're gonna throw me out of your channel? And if so, or your moderators are gonna throw me out. Kind of really makes me mad. I don't know. I got this beef with anyone who wants to throw me out of their channel. So I left him a message under another name. Oops, I guess this wasn't it. That's me yelling at him. But he had some, I think it was right here.
All right.
I'll just share this real quick. I'm not going to talk about too much because I talked about it in my previous broadcast. But right there is me fishing for truth, my other channel. I just left him a little message telling him if I get thrown out there one more time, it's I'm pretty tempted to just report on him for medical misinformation because my channel gets thrown down and I actually back it up with links, and you guys throw me out just because I said the vaccine didn't have luciferase in it, and I really don't like. I'm like, if I'm wrong, just throw me the source, throw me the info. But I said I go onto these websites and luciferase isn't in the vaccine. It's 4 lipid particles, 4 salts, sucrose, and mRNA. That's all that's in there. And it's like, the thing is, I want to talk about real reasons to hate the vaccine. I don't want to talk about fake reasons to hate it. But I mean, if you're right about the luciferase, show me, but don't just kick me out of the chat room and then call me Antichrist and devil and all this other stuff. I mean, I don't agree with the guy's theology, like I said, but I mean, when you're gonna slander me and slam me with false accusations and tell me I'm a liar, at least tell me what I said was wrong. Point me to a source. Don't just slander me. But so that's kind of my little beef with him. Probably make it a bigger beef, to be honest. I just, I mean, people can throw me out of their channels. Like, that doesn't, does not bother me. You throw me out of your channel. Anyone can throw me out of their channel. In fact, I mean, most people, they can do a lot to me before I'll get angry. It's just when you do a big combination of things, and it's like you're going out of your way to make me mad. And that's what I felt like everybody in that chat room did. So I think you don't give me time to do anything. Yo, Media Bear. Hey, man, if you want to be on, you do not even have to, show your face. You can, I always have that link where you can just click it and you can be on. And you don't have to, you can choose whether you want to be on video or not. So if you ever want to be on, you are definitely more than welcome to join the show. I had a few friends that joined me at try to join in my show at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I was trying to run another live stream to see if anyone wanted to jump in. I just couldn't keep it going because it was already going 3 hours, and I wanted to wrap it up. But I was trying to see if anyone else that I knew wanted to join in because I was so late. Actually, I need to post the link to this current show going on. That way, some other people, they should see it, but they're really bad if I don't tell them personally. We're gonna just see if there's anyone else that wanted to come on this show. I just gotta get the link to share it on my Facebook. Sorry about this. I'm never super prepared. Send that to one she wanted to be on. But anyway, so I got that done. So sorry about that little I don't know, break from the everything. The one thing I wanted to talk about, I guess, like I want to go over what Spiro said. Spiro had a new video. Anyone that's not familiar with him, I don't know, they need to subscribe to him. But anyway, he's got this new video right here. He normally does pretty good work. I just kind of I disagreed with a couple of things he said, but this one was kind of new to me. Australia cancels COVID vaccine trial over unexpected false positives for HIV. Says the Australian government has canceled further development of a COVID-19 vaccine after several trial participants had false positive tests for HIV. The vaccine was being developed by the University of Queensland, while Australian biotech company CSL Limited had been under contract to provide 51 million doses. The vaccine had been on schedule for mid-2021, with phase 2 and 3 clinical trials due to commence in December. So I guess this article came out Friday, December 2020. So I don't want to play too much of his video. I mean, people can go to his channel. Like right there is his name, Spiro, and then Skouras. If anyone's not familiar, but he does pretty decent work for the most part. There was a couple of things though. When he commented about the deaths, the 2 deaths, like I've done Dr. Mobeen's video and his comments about it. And I mean, one of the deaths did happen like 63 days after the vaccine. I mean, people can go keep thinking it's the vaccine anyway. But I mean, it did happen like 63 days after the vaccine. And it was like, I think cardiac arrest, if I remember right. Yeah, right here it is. Experienced a cardiac arrest 62 days after vaccination, and the second one died from arteriosclerosis 3 days after the vaccination. And I don't know, from like what Dr. Mobeen was saying when he commented on this, was he said that he doesn't think that there's any way this vaccine can cause that.
Enrolled participants died during the
but I mean, I think there's other effects. And in my opinion, it doesn't seem like it would cause this. But like, I know even less about immunology than what all these doctors know. But I mean, even when I'm looking at it, it doesn't really look like it to me. But I'm always surprised when these doctors though like read all this stuff and they seem pretty enthusiastic about taking it, and yet they know a lot about ivermectin, yet they still want to go run and take this vaccine. It's I don't know, that's always trippy to me. But let's see here. So I mean, those 2 deaths he points out, I don't know how big of a deal it is. I do want to play this little clip though. This
dismissal of the then acting CDC director.
Dr. Michael Hatwick directed the surveillance team for the swine flu program at the CDC. His job was to find out what possible complications could arise from taking the shot and to report his findings to those in charge.
Did you know ahead of time, Dr. Hatwick, that there had been case reports of neurological disorders, neurological illness, apparently associated with the injection of influenza vaccine?
Absolutely.
You did?
Yes.
How'd you know that?
By review of the literature.
So you told your superiors, the men in charge of the swine flu immunization program, about the possibility of neurological disorders?
Absolutely.
What would you say if I told you that your superiors say that you never told them about the possibility of neurological complications?
That's nonsense. I can't believe that they would say that they did not know that there were neurological illnesses associated with influenza vaccination. That simply is not true. We did know that.
But let's use 2020 as our example. It was just released on the 8th of December. The FDA briefing document titled Vaccines and Related Biological Products Advisory Committee Meeting. It's dated December 10th, and it focuses on the brand new experimental Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine. And on page 41, we find, under the serious adverse events, deaths, 2 vaccine and 4 placebo out of the 43,500 enrolled participants died during the Pfizer COVID vaccine trial between April and November of 2020. Both vaccine recipients were over the age of 55. One experienced a cardiac arrest 62 days after vaccination number 2 and died 3 days later, and the other died from arteriosclerosis 3 days after vaccination number 1. This information is not being reported in the mainstream media. Honestly, I don't trust the media or the pharmaceutical companies and the vaccine manufacturers, just based on their history and track record alone. Pfizer, for example, has a lengthy criminal record which has paid out billions of dollars in damages for crimes including safety violations, corruption, bribery, and false claims.
I'm honored to stand here today with dedicated colleagues from within the Department of Justice as well as beyond it to announce a historic settlement with Pfizer Incorporated, a pharmaceutical manufacturer, and its subsidiary Pharmacia and Upjohn company, arising out of civil and criminal allegations relating to Pfizer's allegedly illegal promotion of various drugs, most notably Bextra. In a combination civil and criminal settlement, Pfizer has agreed to pay $2.3 billion, the largest healthcare fraud settlement in the history of the Department of Justice.
But is anyone surprised that they get away with this? Especially when you consider that the pharmaceuticals/health products industry spends the most on lobbying in DC. More than the military-industrial complex, more than oil and gas, more than the insurance industry, spending billions of dollars over decades, and of course, they receive large funding from people like Bill Gates. Now, another...
So, I won't play the whole video. If anyone wants to watch it, they can hop over to his channel. Oh, he's up there. Oh my gosh. Hello, man. How you doing? Thanks for being on the show. Wow, man, this is exciting.
This is exciting, man. I'm stoked. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. Wow, man. I got my first star on the show. But so I mean, how are you doing, man? What's up with you?
Dude, I'm living the dream one nightmare at a time.
Yeah, man. So oh my gosh, what would I want? I did want to ask you something. I was kind of stunned though that you were actually got on the show.
No, it's cool, man. We're just chilling. You know, this is actually you know, you're kind of an expert at this. I know just from watching your stuff, but this is all kind of very new to me. So.
Oh wow! So I didn't know that. I was kind of like unfamiliar, like because I know your wife listened to like Max Egan and people like that. So I was like, I know you're pretty on top of some things at least.
Oh yeah, no, I mean just like with the streaming stuff, really.
Oh okay, all right, okay, sorry. Yeah, so you said you were like using like OC. I have never even heard of that one you said you were using, but you're liking that.
I like it, man. Did you know, you saw what we were doing with it last night. I thought that was pretty cool. I managed to like get this app. I can use my phone as a camera, as like a secondary camera.
Oh wow.
And it was cool. I had it on this C-stand, and I could get like this cool kind of top-down bird's eye view. And yeah, I like it, man. And I think that it's going to let me do like your crawl, your text crawl that you have down there.
Oh yeah,
I want to be able to do that. So it looks like this is that'll be a way that I can do it. So.
All right, awesome. Yeah, on this I know it's real simple. It's got like the on the program I use, it's just got like a banner right down the sideline, and so you can either click the banner, and I think it's got like brand. Like I could do like, I guess different themes.
I like that look. Yeah, I like that
logo.
look.
If you want a logo up there, you know, you can just put a logo, pop a logo up there of your own and things like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what I like about this. It lets me put in graphics and stuff like that in the background and whatnot. It seems really cool.
All right, cool, man. So as long as it's easy to use and everything. So
I won't say that it's easy to use. Last night, I kept trying to, what I was trying to do is like do that thing where you on YouTube, you make the announcement that there's going to be a live show at 9 o'clock or whatever, and then but I don't want to use YouTube's software to do the streaming, right? Because I want to use this OBS stuff. And I was just having a hard time getting the two to synchronize. And I finally did figure it out though. And I think now I know the way forward. So.
All right. Awesome, man.
Yeah, dude. That was a fun show last night though, man. We had a blast.
I like every single show you do. You're just signing CVs, man.
Yeah, man. We were, I don't know. It's just it's fun to do it, It is. We had a blast.
Yeah, man. That's like I know everyone in the chat room loves you guys, man. So it's
exciting.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's fun. We're having a blast.
Yeah. So, I had this Canadian on yesterday, on my show yesterday, and she said something about, and I got to look into it because I don't, because people will also in America say there's crazy things happening here, and sometimes they're not happening. But she said, like I said, hey, how's that COVID vaccination thing going in Canada? Are they going to make it mandatory? And she's like, well, it's not really mandatory, but you can't go to work without it. And, and she said something about that I thought was weird that I want to check into is that she said they're making like these quarantine camps. And if I'm not mistaken, she said they're making these quarantine camps for people who don't get the vaccine. So it's just kind of weird because you're supposed to quarantine the people who are sick, but you're quarantining, I guess, the people who can get sick because they didn't get vaccinated.
Yeah, it's a completely ridiculous, man. And I just saw a thing that somebody sent me about their little yellow, red, green chart, right? Like the kind of like we have here with the terror chroma quotient or whatever they call that thing with the green, yellow, red, right?
Yeah, different DEFCONs. We got that here in Indiana too. I think it's almost the same exact color coordination.
The last level of theirs is called control, I think. Let me find it. Control. It's like 4 different levels of it. And I'll find it here. But yeah, man, it's the craziest thing. You know what? I actually have to look at it on my other computer. Stand by.
Oh yeah, sure, no problem. I'm going to take a look at it. I'm going to try to see if I can find it on. Wonder what Indiana Corona COVID colors.
It's prevent, protect, restrict, and control. Those are the 4 different degrees, and red is the control, and that's apparently what Canada is in right now. They're in level red, scamdemic levels right now.
Okay, I was trying to see if like Indiana has. I'm pretty sure we got like a similar thing, but I can't even. I'm not sure where it would be at on that website, so I'm not gonna. I want to let. Is it? I guess this is it right here on for us. Let me. This kind of. I didn't want to make it a full layout, but I guess all we got is blue, yellow, orange. We don't have like any cool names like that.
It's unbelievable, dude. It's ridiculous. I couldn't believe it was even real.
And you said it's called what is it called?
It's
Could you
like
run
they're,
those three by me again?
yeah, I can. Hang on a second.
Oh,
I
no,
have to
I
look
didn't
at
have
it.
to do all that.
I already forgot it. Hang on.
Oh, man.
Prevent, protect, restrict, control.
Prevent, protect, restrict, control. So it's got 4. All right.
Yeah, it's got 4 levels, and they're color coded to make the terror increase as the warmth of the colors subsequently increases.
Oh man, I love how you phrase things. But wow, man, that's just crazy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I thought we all had the same thing, but apparently they call it something completely different there than they do here. Because on mine it just says yellow and all this other stuff, but it doesn't give
I
any
don't
kind
know.
of crazy names.
This is in Ontario, Canada, and I don't know if it's the same kind of color coded freak out level that they have all throughout Canada, but this one really took me aback, man. The control, it's like the final level of it is control, and the criteria for it is, you can't meet with more than 5 people and this and that, and it's just unbelievable what's going on. Unbelievable.
So in Georgia, what's it like there for your COVID and everything? Like, do they kind of let people just go out and do whatever they want, or?
All right, so I lived in the city until about 2.5 months ago, and it was, I was in a very heavy, area of, everybody was wearing masks. They were driving around with them. They were wearing them at the park. They were definitely wearing them at the store. Yeah, you'd see the occasional people not wearing a mask or whatever, but generally speaking, everywhere, right? Except at the post office. I never had anybody force me to wear a mask at the post office, but then, now I've moved kind of out to the suburbs, and I got to tell you, I think it's worse here. I think it's a little worse. There's people wearing masks in places where they just downright don't have to wear them. You don't have to wear a mask at the post office. You just don't. You don't have to wear a mask walking down the sidewalk. That's idiotic. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I don't think they're wearing it to avoid getting sick at all. I'm convinced that they're just wearing it. It's these are people that are dictatorial by nature, and they have a judging character, and they love the fact that they can now use this as a tool to berate people.
Right. Yeah. I see in Indiana. Let's see here. The place where I moved from, it was like Greenwood, Indiana, and I lived there for the past 4 years, and then I had to move closer to my job. But out in Greenwood, man, like in March, it was like towards the end of the March, we saw that orange fencing up on the kids' playground equipment. We tore it down, and it's like. And normally I'd be like the only one, but like in Greenwood, like everybody joined in, and some people actually initiated it. So I was like, okay, this is a cool community to live in. And no one wore masks. All of our kids played together, and no one cared. And everyone thought the lockdown was stupid. Even the progressives that were around there was like, man, this lockdown's stupid. But I come out here. I come out to Brownsburg, Indiana. And it's like I got my next door neighbor wearing a mask going outside for a walk, and it's like, and this one lady, she, when I took my kid, and this kind of made me sad, man, because I see like Black Lives Matters signs all up around the place. And I'm like, gosh, why couldn't I just go one more block down that way? And I would have never moved here.
Oh, I know, right? That's hilarious, man. No, that's really funny. Well, I don't have much of that where I am right now. It was a lot worse where I was before. But the mask people, that's bad here, dude. I was out running errands all day today. I didn't put a mask on one time. I put this one on when I was at the intersection when I was playing Safetyland, just like freaking people out. And I have a magnetic sign that I put on my door now that has like the channel on it and stuff like that. So I have a lot of fun driving around like that. But like at the stores that I go to, I had to go to the UPS store. Everybody in there is wearing a mask that works there, and every customer is wearing a mask. I didn't wear a mask. Nobody said anything to me. I was at Office Depot or Staples or something like that. Same thing, grown men walking around with face shields on and stuff like that. Customers, they don't have to wear them. They don't make you wear them. There's nobody taking temperatures or asking you if you want to put on a mask. You can walk in and not put it on, And nobody said anything to me there. I had employees helping me do stuff and whatnot. And it was fine. Nobody, they're all wearing masks, right? Very safe.
Yeah, about one thing about my neighborhood, man, like that same day when I was like walking my kid, when I first moved here, it was like maybe the second week I was here. I go around the corner, as soon as I see all those signs, I see some lady and she pulls up. She's not wearing a mask in her car, but before she gets out, like I look in her garage and I see these people doing some weird coordination thing like in the garage. I'm like, what the world are these people doing? And then all of a sudden she starts putting on a mask before she gets out of her car. So it felt like she was like an astronaut getting ready to get out of a spaceship and puts her mask on, gets out of her car, takes the stuff, and then goes in her house. And I'm like, and me and my kid, we were at least 30 feet away from her. So it's not like she had to put it because like, oh, we're walking close to her. We were way away from her. I'm like, wow, she put on a face mask just to get out of her car, grab her stuff, and go into her house. And that blew my mind.
It's absolutely astonishing, some of these people. And I've been pretty lucky. I've never really had any real face-to-face confrontation with anybody. My wife has had several. She was not allowed to go into the Disney store yesterday, apparently, without a mask on, And it's one of these things where the mall does not require you to wear a mask, right? But each store has their own implementation of the mask rule, Disney has bouncers standing there and they won't let you come in. And actually, my wife will put a bandana around her neck, right? Where she can, oh, well, I have to wear a mask. Okay, I'll pull it up over my nose and then I take it down once I'm past you. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people probably do that though. But they said, no, the bandana is not good enough.
Oh, wow.
It's not any random cloth on your face.
It's got to be a surgical mask.
That's right. Gotta put on a mask. And not a Peter Pan mask.
One thing about that, like before you guys go into places, do you and they try to say that to you? Because like me, I just go HIPAA, and they're just like I don't even know if they know what it means, and I just say HIPAA, like they should know what it means, and I just walk in and they leave me alone. Have you tried that, and then they still made you wear a mask, or?
Oh no, man! They've never successfully made me put on their mask. They've made me put this mask on before. I've left and gone back and put on this and come back and said, okay, well, here's my mask. Done it with cheap mask. I've done it with this one. But but yeah, I've had really, really, really good results by, number one, not paying attention. No eye contact at all. You can see peripherally that if they have masks on. If they have a mask on, you just ignore them. Myself. This is a potentially sick person. They're paranoid. God knows what's going on with them. I'm going to ignore this person. You know what I mean? And so number one, ignoring them. Number two, if I do have to say something to them, I just say, I can't wear it. Can't. It's not a matter of that I don't want to wear it. It's not that. I can't. But I'm saying that as I'm continuing walking. It's, sir, do you have a mask? No, I don't have a mask. Well, do you want one? No, I can't wear it. And by this point, I'm already 10 feet past them, you know? And I mean, they're not going to come put their hands on you. They're going to keep their distance, and they know they can't make you freaking wear the mask. They know it.
You know, I should probably be highlighting people's comments. But anyway, yeah, you know, one thing, this friend of mine, Macy Kinder, she's got a channel too, and she was, this one video I randomly caught. I can't catch all of her shows, she makes too many of them, but like I randomly caught the show where she's talking about how before she goes in a store, she says like one time she took some medical gauze and threw it around her neck, and then like she acts like she can't read, and like if they try to tell her to put a mask on, she's like, and she puts the medical gauze and just keeps on.
Oh, that's great. That's it. I mean,
I was like, that's pretty genius. I love that.
It is. You gotta, you know, the mockery goes far. I mean, you know, it's been a while actually since they have managed to make me go and put this on. Actually, Thanksgiving. I put it on Thanksgiving Day to go into the grocery store because I was just like, man, I'm in a hurry. I got to get this thing and go. I'm just going to walk in with my mask on. I'm not going to do the song and dance where okay, let me go back to my car. And then I come back wearing it and they're all pissed off, but they have to deal with it. Yeah, I just don't wear it and I just ignore them. And that goes also with the mask people that are also there shopping, wearing masks and face plates and, you know, all this crap, that you got to just ignore them. You can't look at them. You can't know that you want to look at them and to see, like, does this person realize that I'm not wearing a mask, and are they staring me down, and am I getting evil looks? You can't do it. You just have to ignore everybody, all of the mask people. You just have to ignore them. They're paranoid, they're potentially infected, or they're worried about getting infected. It's better for you to just pretend like they're not there.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to say, hey, thanks everyone for joining in the channel. It's nice to see a lot of you people, a lot of new faces. So
hi, party people.
Thanks. And I guess thanks for, you know, helping me, you know, help bring those people at least to give this channel like a glimpse. You know, just to say, you know, let's like I say, I have people on my show. They don't, you know, agree with me 100%. They just kind of come on and I just let them say whatever they want to say. And so don't like assume just because Media Bear is on my show that he agrees with everything I say. So I like to put that disclaimer out so my guests don't feel like they're penciled in with me or shoved into my corner. So
yeah, man, that's why I'm here. Yeah, I've been digging your stuff for a hot minute. So yeah, I'm glad.
Well, I mean, I know I do offend people. Like I got, you know, that in my background, and that really, you know, offends people, and so I don't have like, you know, I know the religion aspect of my channel probably kills a lot of my views. So, but you know, I throw it out there. I feel like I got like some sort of duty to at least mention that every once in a while. I try to talk about, you know, current events and what's going on and things like that. And, but I try not to beat people over the head with, you know, stuff I believe in. I just kind of just show people things, and that's about it. But anyway,
yeah, man.
Most stores are enforcing masks in Florida. I wouldn't have thought that. I would have thought Florida would have been cooler.
That's what I thought too. I thought that they were like, well, I mean, certainly their leadership is trying to portray a sense of confidence, you know, but it's, gosh, that's kind of bleak.
Yeah, I know there's like an exodus. There's like an exodus from New York going to Florida. So you would think that those people obviously are not leaving New York just because, hey, I want to go to someplace else to be locked down, right?
Yeah, I wonder what it's like to wear a mask in Florida.
And stay at home. You know, it's like, you know, I want to be just like New York. Like, really, you traveled all the way to Florida just for that? So you would think you
no.
would be more empowered to kick these stupid mandates to the curb, you know, so.
Yep. That's pretty bleak. I hate to hear that. I went to school in Florida.
You know, one thing is someone said, you know, they bought a face mask with goggles and replacement filters with a skull design just to intimidate those who forced me to wear one in stores. But you know, the thing about it, you see, it says goggles. It makes me reminds me of something. It's like, you know, Fauci recommended goggles too, but I guess if the government doesn't mandate it, like people like they won't do it. You know, I mean, you're telling me you're terrified of a virus, but yet you got to wait till the government tells you to do something to do it. Like, I feel like if the government didn't make you wear a mask, you wouldn't have wore the mask. And now it's like, even if the goggles might save your life, you're such a sheep. You got to wait for the government to tell you to wear goggles before you wear them, you know? So.
Yep. Yeah. Well, what scares me is that they're learning so much. The controllers are learning so much about how we react and respond, behave, that I'm worried that they will say, guys, we have the answer. We've developed the most perfect face mask. It's going to be impervious to freaking everything. And we're giving every man, woman, boy, and girl this face mask to wear. And it also will ship with goggles. They're very specialized goggles that everyone will be mandated to wear. And they're free. You won't have to pay for them, but you will go to jail if you lose them. And things like that. This mask stuff does not seem to be slowing down.
Well, I think one of the last words I said to this friend of mine that I had been friends with him for 30 years was, I wish you would wear a freaking hazmat suit and just leave us alone. I said, if you're so scared of the virus, like, I wish we could just sit there, and I would pay extra taxes. But these people, if once we buy them a suit, they must wear it out in public and buy them hazmat suits. Like, make them all, every single one of you that want to wear a mask and all this. I tell you what, we'll make you wear a hazmat suit, and you can live in that hazmat suit and go in and out of your house and go to the grocery stores, be extra safe, and just leave us alone. Like the rest of us, let us die. You know, if we're going to catch it, just don't worry about us. You wear your hazmat suit, you know, and just leave me alone.
Yep. Keep your distance.
But this guy, Lawrence Wells, said a grocery store in Minnesota called the police on him for not wearing a mask. So I haven't had nothing like that crazy happen yet.
Me neither. I mean, I would assume that that's wasting the police's time because it's not illegal to not wear a mask, right? These people are they just look at this as their opportunity to enforce their will on people, individual level, you know. That's the person that would feel empowered to call the police on someone for not wearing a free safety mask.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, these crazy people look at it as attempted murder if you're not wearing a mask, man. It's just that it blows my mind.
Yeah, we're not dealing with reasonable people. So I don't know. It's funny as hell, though. It's entertaining, at least.
Somewhat, man. It's frightening. I mean,
yeah.
I feel more frightened than entertained, man. It's like I was talking to you a couple of days ago on a message, and it's like, man, honestly, when I go out, man, it feels like I'm not even in this. Like, I'm in a totally different world, and nothing feels real. It all feels super surreal. Like, especially when you're the only one trying to be normal, and I'm actually used to being the black sheep. And it feels like everything like it's all turned upside down, like everybody else is like the crazy one, and I'm like the only like normal sane guy walking around in the world, man. It's like
I know that feeling though, man. And I, say it's entertaining. It's entertaining in the most bleak way because it's depressing. It's a black humor.
And so you had this one guy say that there's no mask mandate in Florida, but yet the big stores like Winn-Dixie and Walmart and all these other ones are still enforcing masks in their stores.
Okay, I go to Walmart without a mask, no problem.
Yeah, I haven't had a problem yet at Walmart. There was like a Kroger store. I had one lady behind the counter, like in the bakery section. She's like, "Where's your mask?" And I'm like, "HIPAA, ADA."
Yep. But you could, or it's in the car. Where do I send my legal bill? Who do I send my lawsuit to? Do I send it to the pharmacy or to the butcher department?
Right. Well, see, that's another thing too. It's like if I have these people and they really want to get pushy, like I tend to like say, "Hey, I'm going to file a lawsuit. So are you telling me this, or maybe you should have your manager tell me it and make them bring their manager to me and then tell their manager, look, I'm not going to sue the store. I'm going to just sue whoever is going to personally tell me I can't be in here. So are you the one? Because I'm going to sue you. Your store will not help you with the lawsuit. Like Walmart or whoever, they're not going to help you, buddy. It's just going to be me and you, and I guarantee you, they're not going to fit for your. They're not going to fit the bill for your legal fees.
Yeah.
So you want to play this game with me? And normally they leave me alone too. So I mean, that's another one. But normally when it gets like that, I won't even go to the place again.
Oh, I can imagine. I've never had an experience that's gone quite to that level. I've been fairly lucky, I guess.
Yeah, it's just I just say once where it started to escalate to that level, and the person seemed like they didn't even want to go get their manager. So I was like, okay, so I guess this is over with right now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Our interaction is complete now. Yeah. Yep. It's good times in the apocalypse.
And someone's like, hey, I wonder how many healthy young ladies will not be able to bear children after taking the COVID vax.
Yeah, it's I see this person's comments on my stream a lot, on my videos a lot. And yeah, I was just reading about it. They said that it melts the placenta.
What? No, I that's a new one. I'm gonna have to look that up. Melts.
Yeah, that'll be a good one for you. That's a perfect topic for one of your videos.
Oh yeah,
you gotta look it up, dude.
Yeah, because I'll even ask. I'll stop in that Dr. Mobine's channel and ask him if I want to type that into the search so I remember it. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna have to stop by Dr. Mobine's channel because what I like to do is just at least like drop $5 and ask him a question. And so far, he's answered every single question I've asked. So I'll ask him about this one, man. If I look it up and I see like, wow, there's actually something to it and it's real.
Yep. Well, Chris, I'm going to go get some food, my good brother.
Oh, yeah. But hey, thank you so much for stopping by, man. It was an honor, man. Like,
this was so fun, dude.
Well, it was great, man. I wish I would have been a little bit more prepared. I would have had like better questions and, maybe better things to throw at you. But it was awesome. It was really great, man, that you stopped by.
Heck yeah, we'll do it again soon, man.
All right. Thank you. And I appreciate it so much.
Thanks, Chris. You rock. Have a good rest of your day, man.
Oh, man, you awesomely rock. So, well, I appreciate everyone's kindness and everything, man, that y'all bothered to stop by my channel just because he mentioned it and you knew he'd be on here. So that was super awesome of you all. But hey, if anyone, I do let people join my show. If anyone ever wants to, I do these live streams like try to do them every Friday night. But I let people join in. if they ever want to, I got something to share. One, come on for like 5 minutes or so, or if it's going really good, they can talk some more. I don't really mind, but I don't know if anyone saw those clips I played earlier about Kerry Mullis, but I mean, there is a clip where he goes after Fauci. I'll just show you the guy's channel. I won't play it again. I played it like towards the beginning of the show. Oh, if I can find it. I'm going to have to go to this other, not this guy's channel, though. Me and him are having a fight. Carrie. There's one clip. Oh, I know where to go. My history. Where Kerry Mullis is talking about this, and he goes straight after Dr. Fauci too. Man, I don't know why all this is appearing on my wrong account. I got my kids and they're still showing. Here it is. Critical Inception. He did this one where the PCR test inventor, Kerry Mullis, called Fauci a liar. It's only a 2-minute clip. It's on a Critical Inceptions channel. So anyone that is like interested in that, I don't know if there's enough new people in here. I could always play it a second time, but just thought I'd throw this one out to you. That's crazy, though, man. Kicked out of a Halloween store for not wearing a mask. I'm going to really have to look at that. That whole melting placenta thing, though. Nick Blicko says, I wrote no cases, no need on my mask. Doctor cracked up and went on a rant on how stupid the laws were. Oh, that's awesome, man. That you had a doctor that was actually that cool and that awake that he said that. Because, see, the sad thing is, it's like I got doctor friends. I mean, this one, I don't think we're friends anymore because early on I criticized him for throwing people on ventilators a little fast. I was like, okay, you didn't even give them CPAPs or BiPAPs. And if people don't know what those are, it's just basically masks that just go right over your mouth. And the difference between that and the ventilator is the ventilator goes all the way down, almost where it looks like it's touching your lungs. And it's pretty invasive. And I'm like, wow, man, you were throwing people straight onto those is what it sounds like to me. And he gets really upset and goes, well, I didn't want that damn virus all over the place. And I'm like, woohoo. I'm just gonna, kind of chill and not like have conversations with you no more. Because I guess like he kind of had some guilt and stuff like that. And I didn't want to add to it too more because I don't think he would have listened to anything I had to say. But I thought, because I'm not a doctor, he is, and so he probably wouldn't want to hear anything I had to say, even though I do research. But yeah, I have a feeling that he was putting people on steroids too early, which was suppressing their immune system, which was causing them to have worse cases, and then causing them to be needed to be put on a ventilator. But these people, though, it sounded like it was like so early, they didn't actually need the ventilator. He just didn't want the virus all over the hospital. So it was kind of scary to me to hear him talk. I'm just going to kind of go over the Low Impact TV. Is that actually a channel? Because that would be a new one to me. So someone, it's always sunny in Portlandia says, that was pretty rad. Mahalo, alohas. Just catch y'all later. Got to walk my cat on its leash. Stephanie Bolt. Oh, I remember seeing you in some of the Media Bear's comments. Funny how many fights these masks have started. You're worried about the Rona, then you wear a mask. If it works, you're good and I'll die. I guess they keep saying that it's supposed to stop me from killing you, so I need to wear the mask. And I guess that's their whole thing, just like they're gonna put you into quarantine, I guess, if you're in Canada, because if you don't get the vax, we need to quarantine you to save everybody who got the vax. Something like that, I guess, is going on in there. Thoughts on what are my thoughts on soul recycling, reincarnation? Well, I believe in the Bible, and I just don't think reincarnation fits into the Bible, because the Bible says it's appointed once for a man to die and then judgment. So I don't believe in it. Like I said, I'll talk about any subjects, and anyone, if they want to even come on here and join the show, you're more than welcome to too. Slow-mo Moon Buggy says Carrie Mullis is in the movie The Other Side of AIDS, debunking the AIDS virus also. Okay, I'll have to check that out. I didn't know about that. Jamie Kirby, hello from the UK. First time watching. Loving your chat. Stay safe. Hey, thank you very much, man. It is so awesome that you guys even gave me a try. I know I got a lot of controversial videos. It's going to probably, I imagine maybe 1/3, 1/4 of you might actually come back to my channel again once you see some of my videos, because I don't trust Trump. I mean, I'll be straight up honest about that. He's the one who's got the emergency order going, and he could end it and doesn't end it. And if he ended it, warp speed would go away, because that's the foundation warp speed stands on, is that there's a national emergency. There's a pandemic. So we need warp speed. And I'm a little bit, I won't say I'm a little bit critical. I'm a lot critical of him. And I did vote for him in 2016. It's just, it's hard to defend some of the things he did. He appointed William Barr, who helped cover up Mena, and had William Barr investigated Mena and the drug smuggling going on in Mena, Arkansas back in 1992. Bill Clinton would be in jail. There would be no deep state, and George Bush would probably be in jail too. And there would definitely be no deep state. So you're telling me the guy who covered all that up and had this alias of Robert Johnson, that was William Barr's alias, as he was like covering all this stuff up too, and helping working that operation. And you're telling me this guy, he's gonna reveal the deep state. And it's also just the how I got treated with other channels, popular Twitter accounts and things like that. When I brought up this information, I cited sources and everything like that. And I said, hey, before Bill Barr got nominated, I was like, hey, man, maybe Trump. And I was just kind of playing along, because at this point, I was like, there's no way you would nominate him in the first place. But I was like, just playing along with you. Maybe he's nominating this deep state, and we're supposed to like start yelling at him and bringing up all this stuff about Barr. And this is more of like an operation to bring these guys out in the open. And then we dump all this information. And then he's like, well, I guess I can't nominate him, because I'm like, what if the deep state's telling Trump, hey, you got to nominate Barr? And Trump's like, okay, I'll do it. And Trump's depending on us to just ram all this information and flood the internet with all this information about Barr. And then he looks at the deep state. It's like, look, my supporters are freaking out. I can't nominate this guy. Gosh, deep state, you're going to have to just pick someone else, Like, see, I feel like if we would have done that, maybe he doesn't nominate Barr. Maybe we don't get to this point. But right now, I think we're at a scary point where Trump put in all these deep state operatives. And now if Biden takes over, what stops Biden, And Stephanie Bolt says, I think Trump is part of the plan. And I 100% agree with it. And I think that whole Q thing is just something to pacify the patriots. I've always thought that ever since the beginning. It doesn't make sense, and I've confronted like a lot of those guys, like Praying Mantis. Me and him, I actually like talked to him a little bit, and he's like one of the biggest Q people. But I was like, man, don't you think some of these nominations are a bit questionable? What does Q have to say about that? And he just kind of gives me some BS responses, and doesn't really just like, hey, trust the plan was about the end of the conversation. I'm like, well, that's not really good enough for me. And it's like also some of these people believing that I can't think. The Turning Point Radio. This guy's got a channel, and he's got this real deep explanation about this plan that's been fomented for like the past, like I guess he says it's been going on for at least 40 years since the assassination of Kennedy, and it was to get someone like Trump in there, and then like in this whole deep state, and he goes into all this deep technical stuff and different parts of history, and it sounds real good. But I mean, at the end of it, I still am like, well, why did he nominate William Barr? How does that fit into it? And why didn't he investigate this election fraud that was going on in 2016 when Debbie Wasserman Schultz in Florida messed over Tim Canova? And it was pretty blatant in that Democrat primary that that election was rigged. And here's Debbie Wasserman Schultz, someone that helped get Hillary nominated over Bernie Sanders. Now, if you're Trump, think about how smart this would have been. Oh man, I got all these people hate me, call me racist. But what if I take, and since Bernie's such a big deal to all these like young Democrats, and a lot of Democrats, period, such a big deal to them, if I take and go after this election fraud that happened in this Democrat primary, that had a lot of publicity. I mean, a lot of people might not know it, but I mean, if you're like, you're probably in government, you probably did run across this, like, because you're probably familiar about all the different things that are brought up to federal officials and things like that. And this is something that was brought up. Tim Canova did, bring this up to the government, and I believe he had a court case on it. And so you'd be aware of this going on. And all Trump had to do was be like, hey, I'm going to go investigate this because that does seem weird. And whether it would have been a successful investigation or not, at least say, hey, I got people looking into that. I want people to know, that I want things to be fair. I'm going to make sure these primaries aren't rigged. He could do so much to swing people to not have at least as negative attitude toward him. And I feel like he totally neglected that. I'm like really surprised a lot of you say you got the same feeling. It's just really awesome that we basically all like media and kind of have like a lot of the same ideals going through our minds. I'm like also real lonely because I just lost thousands of friends because I used to be a DJ, and it's like that's over with because like most of those people that control that whole scene, I would never be allowed in their club right now ever again. I mean, not like there's gonna be clubs, in my opinion, like this thing's gonna go on. Like I don't ever see this ending. But it's just like, I don't have a lot of friends. So it's kind of like nice that you guys at least checked out my channel. And this is like, and it's really nice to find other people that I can kind of communicate with, and they share their thoughts and views with me. So just want to say I do appreciate that. Amy Odine says, just heard ABC News about vaccinations coming to UPS, FedEx, etc. Monday. That's super scary. Also, that reminds me, I don't know how many of you have seen this one 60 Minutes video where they're, let me see if I can bring that up on the screen real quick. I won't play it. Maybe I will play it. It just kind of depends if people want me to play it or not. But I got a channel on brand new tubes to put some of my uploads on it, but and I'm not really sure how you go about finding people on brand new tube. Because I know I'm like listed as Chris Lucas, and then it says at Fishing for Truth. Fishingfortruth.com is my website also. I guess it says it in the banner. I actually got the banner moving around today, but anyway, there's this video. And it's a real short video. I won't play it, but oh, right here it is. COVID-19 vaccine already being made, but not approved yet, but millions of vials being made anyway. And so it's got, so this 60 Minutes guy, he's interviewing one of the vaccine manufacturers that the government's contracted out. I guess they've already spent $620 million manufacturing the vaccine. And he's like, well, what if it's not approved? Because this video, it's way older than, I'm trying to see what date I put it on here at, but oh, the 24th of November. So I think the actual 60 Minutes segment aired like closer to like the beginning of November, like maybe November 8th or something like that. So they were already like mass producing this, and there was barely any results in. And here they got, and the guy's like, well, I guess, if it's not approved, the taxpayers take care of that, and they're going to be out the $620 million. And he goes, but that's a risk that I think we're willing to take. And so it's just kind of crazy how they're just kind of playing with our money like that and gambling with it. And it doesn't seem like they really they really don't care if it's safe. It's just like, let's just hurry up and push it out there. So Lauren, she say, do I feel like the vax is in line with the mark of the beast? I tell you what, that line's getting more blurry all the time. Because I mean, I know in the Bible, I think it's got, and my interpretation of it, it's got to have something to do with buying and selling, but also worship. And it's got to be obvious, like to say that, like, let's say some guy in some little remote country thinks like this is just a vaccine. It's not going to do anything to me. It's for my own health. And he doesn't know that it's got any kind of crazy technology that's going to change him or make him not human anymore. Now, I personally don't think that vaccine's got any kind of DNA changing qualities in it, but let's just say it did. Well, this guy that's in this remote village, how does he know? So you're telling me he took the vaccine, his DNA gets altered, and now his soul is doomed to eternal hell. So and to me that almost comes out as Gnostic, where it's like you have to have this secret, you have to have this knowledge about what's really in the vax, or else if you don't have this knowledge, you're going to wind up taking it and you're going to have the mark of the beast. So that would kind of just be my whole take. They got to make it something that's not only has to do something with buying and selling, but it's got to have something to do with worship. But when I'm looking at it, it doesn't look like it can change the DNA from what I understand, because it doesn't go into the cell's nucleus. It stays on the outside, and it mainly reads the mRNA and then creates a spike protein. But if it was to go into the nucleus, this one doctor I know says that the cell would just self-destruct, and so he doesn't think that's possible. But my whole thing is it's creating this spike protein, and what if that's similar to something else in my body that uses a similar looking spike protein, and that messes my body up because it's fighting this spike protein, or this spike protein's fitting in something that some other part of my body, like when it's like communicating or something needs to fit into. I'm not a microbiologist, but I mean, those are just kind of like my questions I have personally. And then it's like, I'm still not 100% convinced that it stays in its lipid bubbles and that the mRNA can't escape out of it. This one guy said the way those lipid particles are created is so the mRNA stays binded in there until it can penetrate the cell, and that the lipid particles help act as like some kind of like a lubricant to get inside the cell and then create the and then so the cell reads the mRNA and then spits out the spike protein. But like, I don't know, I'm not like really convinced that those lipid particles do contain it. And then if that gets into your bloodstream, I don't know what the effects of that are. Like, some people say it could cause edema and thrombosis. So I get a little bit nervous about taking anything like that. And then you just see those 4 people who got Bell's palsy, and then the 2 workers who had that severe allergic reaction. It's like, no, thank you. I mean, I could just take ivermectin. And I mean, first of all, this virus, it's 99.5% of the people who get it, they live. And then if you take that 0.5%, if you would have just made sure that their vitamin D levels were right, their vitamin C levels were right, the zinc levels were right, chances are that goes down by quite a bit, because most of your population is vitamin D deficient. So if and they say you're 7 times more likely to die of COVID if you are vitamin D deficient. So and I don't see my health departments putting out enough warnings. I mean, do any of you have your health departments warning the public? That's my son, by the way.
Hi guys. This is the first time well, my dad normally locks the door to the basement because he's actually doing this in the basement, but I guess now he just leaves it open or something.
Well, you guys have been doing a pretty good job of leaving me alone for the most part. So that's kind of why I leave it open. I mean, normally it's not too bad. I didn't expect to have this many people show up today. I had Media Bear on for a minute. Yeah, Media Bear was on. My friend that makes those mask videos, those anti-mask videos. Yeah, makes fun of those people.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was pretty cool. But
yeah, this is the first time showing up on my daddy's show, and I'm telling you guys that this is actually live. Seriously, this is live.
I think they know that, Zamri.
Really?
Yeah. But hey, Zamri, I gotta go like answer some of these people's questions and do the show. But did you want me to open your pop for you? Is that why you came down here?
How did you know that I had soda?
I see it right there.
Oh.
Yeah, I can open it for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta go bring it.
Bye, guys.
Oh, they said hi. Some of them said, "Hey, kiddo." Oh, yeah, okay. I'm glad people are pretty patient with me with that. That did used to scare me to do like broadcasts, because I was like, man, I don't know how this is gonna work with having children and everything. And oh my gosh, did you shake it? It's okay.
I accidentally shook it.
Oh, no, you doing? Okay, it's okay, Zimri. It's okay. Here, I got it.
I'm laughing a little because it kind of is a little fun.
Yeah, that might be. Oh gosh.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Daddy.
He's only like 7. And, oh boy. But yeah, there's some of the things that happen when you do live shows and you leave your door open and your kids can get with you. Oh man. man. But anyway, someone said, yeah, BLM keeps one half occupied. The rest of us had to be distracted by something better than Q. Oh yeah, yeah. I believe that's a big thing too. Oh, thanks, Jason. I appreciate it, man. Like, I'm really surprised I had that many people like my stuff. I really thought it was going to be a lot fewer. So I definitely really appreciate it. Because I mean, my expectation is to get maybe one new subscriber a week, so lose like 50 and gain 51. So I always appreciate that anyone likes my stuff. Can't believe I got this many people on here. Because this is a new channel. YouTube had banned my other channel for talking about, I think, ivermectin, basically. And it freaked them out. I'm pretty sure it was only about ivermectin because I said, man, you know, if you just gave people ivermectin and I showed them all these like doctor studies, I was like, ivermectin pretty much cures people. There's this doctor named Dr. Pierre Corey. He just testified in front of the Senate. And the sad thing was, they made him kind of look like some fringe doctor because he said, oh, look at this guy. He's trying to say he can treat COVID with lice medicine. But they totally discounted all of his data, all of his studies, everything that shows that your chances of dying are virtually zero if you use ivermectin, especially as a prophylaxis, as a preventative. And then if you do get COVID and you take if I remember right, I think it's like 12 milligrams a day for 5 days, but it's like it's broken up to body weight. I think it's like 0.25 milligrams per 4 pounds. So someone like me that weighs about 130 pounds, I'd take 12 milligrams a day for 5 days, and should be okay. But consult a doctor, look up their documents. Don't go by anything I say. Everything I say is only opinion. Trying to keep my channel from being banned since that got me in trouble before. Yeah, basically like YouTube and all these other like social media platforms treat the discussion of ivermectin like it's one of the worst crimes you could commit. And basically, it's like it's super cheap drug. You can find it in horse medicine, horse deworming medicine, and a lot of deworming medicine. It's like it's to kill parasites, and I guess it works great for COVID. Oops. James Kirby says the vaccine was rolled out a few days ago. 2 NHS staff had very bad reactions to it. Oh yeah. I remember hearing that allergic reactions. And Jeff L says might as well be the markets given by the government. You have to worship for taking care of the sheep. Yeah, like I said, man, that is it. The line's very blurry. It's like they're getting to the point to where you're not going to be able to get on an airplane without a proof of vaccination. You can't you can't go to work at some jobs if you don't have the vaccination. Ticketmaster tried to say you can't do anything unless you have proof of vaccination. But the whole problem with that is in America, okay, why can I can walk in a store and if they say, hey man, you got to wear a mask, and I go HIPAA, they leave me alone. So how is Ticketmaster getting around making people have COVID IDs if I can say HIPAA and it keeps, and you're not allowed to know anything about me medically through HIPAA laws. So it's like I need to look more into that, because has anyone challenged Ticketmaster on that? Because that seems really weird that Ticketmaster could do that. But Yeah, Jeff L. He says, anyone hear about the vax the Australian government gave out that has the protein from HIV? Yes, they said that they were testing some vaccine. I don't think it's the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine. I think it's like some other vaccine. And that when they were testing people who in the trials, they were coming back as HIV positive from the COVID vaccine. They canceled the trials of it. If anyone wants to kind of find a little bit of information on that, Spiro Skouras did a video on it today. SPIROSKOUKRAS. Spiro Skouras. He did a video on it. And I guess Spiro was saying that Richie Allen, a pretty big alternative media guy in Europe. If anyone's not familiar with him, Richie Allen does some pretty good work, pretty good journalist. He really, and he even challenges his guests when he gets his guest on a show. He can, he follows up questions and tries to make sure he gives them kind of a tough interview. He doesn't just kind of let questions go. Like if they make, I should say, let statements go. If they make like some kind of odd statement, he will follow up with a question to make sure they have something to back up their claim. And I think he's pretty good. If you've got kids, his language can be kind of offensive. So that's about all I'll say about that. But I think he does pretty good work. But I guess his channel is also suspended from YouTube. So I guess YouTube lately went on a rampage as far as like anyone that's doing really good reporting and just about running them all off, because it seems like we all kind of got banned in the same week. So 5G radiation, kick it in. The one thing about that 5G radiation too, I'm going to bring up my website real quick, just because I got a pretty interesting post from someone who I've been subscribed to for a while. But this guy, let's see here. My website's sort of a mess. I'm sorry about that. I work 65 hours a week and try to fit these videos in with what spare time I got. Okay, so it took a minute for it to load. But I do got a good video about I shared some videos about someone that said Fauci was experimenting on children. They actually showed that there's articles about how he experimented on foster children with the AIDS vaccine. So I got a video about that. But the 5G video down here, if it's still on here, it might have got ripped off. Oh, here it is. Because I've had like 5 videos from various channels already pulled from the site. Because I guess YouTube shut their channels down. But anyway, this guy right here, I can't think of his name. I have a hard time saying it. But you can go to my channel and find. But he was discussing. He basically believes in like Telsa technology, and I think he's got a really good, interesting scientific mind. And he was and he's not real conspiratorial either. You never hardly hear him talk about conspiracy theories, but he did talk about the 5G, the high band frequencies of it, and how you can use it to control people's feelings. You can pacify them with it. And I'm guessing if you can pacify them with it, you can also make them more angry. So as they're setting up this 5G, not only is it supposedly helping you with better communications, but they can also take and use it for other purposes, like controlling the population's feelings and emotions. So I just kind of wanted to throw that out there because that was kind of new to me because I'm still new to 5G and all that kind of discussion. I don't trust it from what I've read about it. And so when I heard him say that, and I know he's not really into conspiracy theories, I thought that was super interesting. I guess someone was upset. Why did MediaVair send me here? Someone said my child needs to have its own channel. We're trying to do that, actually. I just wish YouTube didn't have all these rules on it. I guess there's like things on YouTube now where you can't, like if it's made for children, you got to be real careful. Like you can't, like it can't be. I guess everything you do for children has to be for free on YouTube now. There's no longer like you're not allowed to have any paid content, but I guess I'll still let him have his own free channel on YouTube. And someone says, what's my channel all about? Basically just trying to figure out what the truth is. I don't ever ban people's comments. I let people with differing opinions come on the show. I pretty much am open to, I'm just basically trying to figure out the truth. I'm not saying I got all the answers, but what I want is someone that might share something that shapes my perspective into a more defined view, a more perfect view, a more refined view. And sometimes it's like, I don't want to sit here and believe false information. I don't want to sit here and like, hey, there's luciferase in a vaccine. And then I'm telling everybody about it. Oh, yeah, man, there's luciferase in it. And then I go and actually read the ingredients and find out it's only got 4 salts, 4 lipid particles, and sucrose and mRNA. But I went around telling everyone it's got luciferase in it. And then what happens? Well, if I find that the vaccine actually does, there's other harmful things about the vaccine, I lost my credibility. So it's like I'm trying to have a channel where I'm trying to spur just truthful conversation, and have new information presented. And I'm trying to gear it towards people that like they're just trying to figure out the truth also, and try to help them find out channels they may know. Because if anyone's done a search lately, you'll find out that, like used to, I could type in New World Order, Jesuits, Vatican, and I could find channel, and I could type in COVID along with it, and I could find out, oh, someone did a video about COVID and the Jesuit connection to it and the Vatican connection to it and how it ties into all this other stuff, like the Great Reset. Well, now if I try to type that into a YouTube search, man, I'm going to see like videos from Fox and CNN and all this other stuff and have to scroll so far down until I actually find, the kind of content I used to find. So I guess it's part of my part of what I'm trying to do with my channel too is I know a lot of people are having that problem. So I'm trying to be like, okay, well, hey, here's this guy, Spiro Skouras, that you didn't hear about. Here's this guy, Richie Allen, let me kind of like, help promote them, and help promote other people that we think are trying to do honest reporting and trying to get down to what the facts are. There's things about Richie Allen I definitely don't agree with. I feel like he kind of he thinks that there's more of a Jewish hand that's controlling everything, from just some of the comments I hear from him. And I definitely would think that there's more of a Vatican hand in it, considering you got Fauci, Bill Gates, and Melinda Gates. They're going to visit the Pope. You got Redfield. He's another Roman Catholic. You got William Barr, another one, a Roman Catholic who covered up Mina. And so me personally, I'm a Protestant Christian. I keep the Sabbath. I'm not Seventh-day Adventist. And to me, when I see like all these, like, I see the America, and as it's gotten more Catholic, it has gotten more New World Order like. And there was a lot of books by our founding fathers that did warn about that, and I have some of those on my site available to be read for free. Lincoln once said this war would have never been possible without the sinister influence of the Jesuits. We owe it to popery that our land is now reddened with the blood of her most noblest sons. So, and then I see that, Jesuits, oh, hey, Fauci's a Jesuit. And things like that. The current Pope's a Jesuit. Trump went to a Jesuit university. Joe Biden's a Roman Catholic. And I just start to, and Kavanaugh's a Roman Catholic. Amy Coney Barrett, who sided with the Democrats on the lockdown, she's a Roman Catholic. If anyone doesn't know about Kavanaugh, he covered up the Vince Foster investigation. So, it's like, and, it's like, okay, you nominated nothing but Catholics. Most Catholics kind of follow along with what their Pope says, or else why do you go to the church? What does the Pope teach? He's anti-gun. Isn't that what the Democrat Party is like? Anti-gun, open borders, amnesty. The Pope's got a lot of, the Pope seems to have no problems with these vaccines being rolled out. Never speaks against it. Never speaks against forced vaccination, or at least I'm not aware of it. And the Pope promotes climate change. That's another thing. Brett Kavanaugh said that it's imperative that we do something about climate change. He said something about the earth is warming and it's imperative that we do something about climate change. So, so even these people, you can't even say like, oh, these are like really good Catholics, Chris. It's like, no, look at their histories. Look at everything that's coming out of their mouth. And on top of it, it's like, that's all you're nominating. To me, that's just a big red flag. I'm not, I surprisingly, I have Catholic friends and they actually agree with me. And I know, this is going to cause me to lose a few views, but, I didn't even realize Meter Bear was even watching my show still after he left. But so I just kind of, so how he who is greater, he who is in you is greater than he who is in the world. And they said, seek the Lord while he may be found. And I agree with you. Jeff L says, I give ivermectin to my dogs, but I would need 50 cc for my weight. Yeah, I'm not sure how cc's break down. I just know it's, if I'm not mistaken, for every 4 pounds, it's 0.25 milligrams. So what I think you mean, wait till the next stimulus relief is dependent on I'm not really sure. I think you're saying like wait until the next stimulus relief is dependent on if you've been vaxxed. I could see them doing that. I could see them doing a lot of things like that. I'm really sorry that I'm kind of like slow at getting to everyone's comments. I'm trying to add them all to the show and comment on everything. Boycott ticket. No, you don't have to have 1,000 subscribers. I thought you did too, but you do have to have 1,000 subscribers to go live on a cell phone, which I had just got 1,000 subscribers on my other channel. So I was like, okay, goody. I get to go out in public and do live shows on YouTube. And because one of the things I was hoping to do was like sane man on the streets, and like go up to all these people and talk to them and just kind of, see what's going through their minds, and ask them a few questions, have people throw questions at me and say, hey, this would be good, to go ask all these people on the street and then go interview them. And then YouTube, right when I'm planning it, they jerk my channel away. So Stephanie Bolt says, I have a card that says I'm exempt from wearing a mask and they can't ask me why because of HIPAA. Yep, that's what I say. I have a little song I'm trying to work on. I might have to just give it to Media Bear and see if he could get Stacks to do it. But because I don't think I'll ever be able to totally finish it. Maybe they can add better words to it. But I think I got a good chorus, you know. It's like that whole that Pill song from the 80s, I believe, where it's like, don't ask me. Like, what's it all about? They scream and then they shout. Don't ask me, because I don't know. But I was thinking about changing the words to what's it all about? No mask is on your face. Don't ask me. HIPAA's all you need to know. Something like that. But I need to get a Media Bear shirt too. I was trying to wait till I could talk to my wife because I want to ask her, like, how much can I buy? That's kind of why I haven't bought anything yet, because it's not so much buying it. It's I just want to know how much I can get. Okay, I can put that in the chat room. Well, actually, you know what? If you go to my website and you want that link, whoops, I'll just post the link to my website. So if anyone wants to find that 5G video that he did, I think it's pretty interesting. His comments, like I said, I think he's wrote a few science books. I think he's actually a photographer, but studies a lot of really deep science stuff. That's to be honest, it's a little over my head. But I try to listen to people that are over my head so I can get further, I guess. Yeah, well, you know, I try to keep these. I don't know, man. It's like I don't want to brag. I mean, I feel like he's like the greatest superstar of 2020 and maybe of all time. And I almost feel like if I go, I know Media Bear, like I'm like that's like I'm bragging. It's like look at my jet, my private jet, and my Lamborghini, and all this, and my mansion. You know, I feel like I wasn't sure if I should say it. You know. Stephanie Bolt says, I'm a crystal geek and there's crystals for blocking 5G. I'll have to look into that because I'm actually a little worried about it. Man, I'm far behind in the comments. I'm sorry, guys. Man, you wrote some of this stuff like minutes ago. Oops. But I just didn't want to like give like too quick of a response. I'm really sorry, man. Yeah, I appreciate you coming in, Jamie. I know you're already gone. Horrible. Wait, 5G has radiation. And yeah, Jeff L says 5G's got radiation like a microwave. Actually, I thought 5G has a ton of radiation that's harmful. Like, man, have you ever seen these videos where like these people go to these go near a 5G tower and how much that just like shoots up and flies around? I mean, $5Gs is not a thing, man. It's another generation's. It's 4 mph faster than 4G. You need tons of power, and those towers do not have it. And when you say power, you need tons of power. Do you just mean electrical power, or is there like you got to refine the technology? Because I don't know. I mean, man, this friend of mine, he seems like he like he's pretty sure it can be used for a nefarious purpose. You know, the high bandwidth of it. Man, everybody wants that naughty by nature down with PPE. PPE. No, I haven't seen Juice Media. The Juice Media. Is it a YouTube link? Cause I'll just go and take a peek at it live. Lawrence Wells says, I just saw in my subs that Russia fires 4 nukes from submarine. Hopes that's BS. Jeff L says Pope also protects pedos. You know, that's the thing too. When you look at the government, I mean, you know, it's not a bunch of agnostics and atheists up in there. You know, it's a bunch of people that are pretending to be Christians, and they're the ones passing all these laws that where you can't talk about transsexuals or can't say certain things around them, and giving them these extra civil protections and things like that. So people really need to start pointing their finger at some of these ecumenical churches and the Catholic Church and what they're pushing, because I mean, a lot of these people, these politicians in office, they're either claiming to be from a Catholic church or an ecumenical church, and they're the ones passing all this crazy legislation. Stephanie says, my hubby just let me get a puppy. Random, I know, but I'm stoked. Yeah, I imagine so. My wife is constantly trying to get me to let her get a dog, and I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to probably allow it. I'm just glad almost everybody who was subscribed to my other channel likes Media Bear too, because I saw a lot of people on some of his live chats. I will say hi to Memphis Funk. I saw him earlier. I'm not sure if he's still in here or not. One of my super old time subscribers from 10 years ago, from when I just started waking up. Well, I mean, I was kind of woke. I thought I was woke up, but I don't really consider myself woke up until I started seeing until I found out about the Jesuits and their hand and everything, and the control of the Vatican, and that was all by accident. It was basically I got in an argument. I was in the Constitution Party, and I got in an argument with one of the leaders who was ripping Lincoln apart, and I was like, man, dude, you're never gonna get this party anywhere if you keep ripping Lincoln apart. It's pretty hard to get a third party nominated anywhere or elected anyway. And I was determined to do research and try to get him to see that Lincoln wasn't bad. And I was like, well, or maybe I'll agree with him. And as I'm doing this research, I start finding out that the Vatican was involved in the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, and it was there's this book by a brigadier general named Brigadier Thomas Harris, and he wrote a book called Rome's Responsibility for the Assassination of Abraham Lincoln, and he actually oversaw the trial of the co-conspirators behind Lincoln's assassination. And he said in this book that there was enough evidence to convict the Pope. And a lot of people don't know this, but John Surratt was found hiding out as one of the Pope's bodyguards after the assassination. So there was a big Vatican hand in it. And then when I went to go confront this like later with all this information I found, he goes, well, that was written after the fact. And I was like, and I didn't even bother saying another word to him when he gave me that reply, because it's like, because I'm like, isn't everything that's factual written after the fact? So for that guy just to even make that comment made me understand that it was done, and that there was no use in talking to him, because I thought that was like just like the most like just dumb, just dumbest thing you could say to me. But then later on I found out that he's a Roman Catholic that went to Loyola University. So that's probably why he was bashing Lincoln. 5G, Rockstar 69 says 5G is similar to the same tech as active denial systems, use millimeter wave technology. Okay, that's what it sounded like when this guy, this one guy got on my screen right now when he was talking about it in his video. That it really reminded me of that. So and Stephanie says you can make crowds of people SHIT their pants with 5G, and I can believe it from some of the things I've heard. Jeff L says look up Barry Trower. He is a radar and high frequency expert. Okay, that sounds good. Probably look that up. Oh, hey, thank you, Time Cop. I appreciate it. I was scared that maybe I have already offended you. And I was not going to get any more chances. So, I don't know. I mean, when people subscribe to me, I'm always like, well, maybe next week they'll unsubscribe. I don't have a lot of hopes for keeping subscriptions, and I think it's best to keep it that way, because if I keep it that way, I'll keep telling the truth, and I'll never, or keep, putting out, different thoughts, as far as like what I see and sharing info, and I don't try not to let myself get influenced by whether people are subscribing or not. Okay, Amy Odine says Corbett report best evidence. John Titus make Americans free again. Okay, one thing about these channels is you can't, like, I've learned that, and there's no feature that can allow me to allow links on YouTube, so I'm real sorry about that. But one workaround with that is, if you know what the, I'm going to see if I can bring this up on screen just to show people what I'm talking about, how you can work around this, because we can't post. YouTube's got some ridiculous thing where they just won't allow you to have a link showing that you can post, they won't let you have an option of like allow links or not, because I really wish we could allow links in the channel. So I guess I can't show it that way. I'm going to figure it out. Okay, well, I got an idea. I'm going to copy the address bar, and then I'm going to paste it right here. I think that lets people see what I'm doing. Okay, so that did. So you can see what I'm doing. Let's see if I can enlarge it just so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so, after you have like a link, it'll have youtube.com/watch ? V equals. Okay, if you highlight everything after the V equals, so like no one wants to type out all these characters, but if you highlight it and then you can paste it into the chat room, it lets other people. So like this video, I'll paste this into the just the end part into the chat room. And then if you were to copy and paste that, and then you paste that into the YouTube search bar, it allows you to see this exact video that I got on the screen right now. So if you've got info that you want to share with each other, and if you're in my chat, that's one way you can do it. So if you want to, like, you got a link about the Russian ICBMs being launched or something, and you want to share that, you can't post the link, but what you can do is just take those last few characters, copy and paste those, drop them into the chat, and then everybody else, if they want to see it, they can copy and paste that, and then paste that up into the YouTube search engine, and that should pop up. In fact, can actually test that right now. So I'll just take and delete everything that was before it. And as you can see, that's what popped up on the search engine right there. And this is a pretty good video too. It's on this guy's, since there's some new people that popped in this chat, it's on a Critical Inceptions channel. He's a new guy I just found out about too. But anyway, it's basically a 2-minute clip of the PCR test inventor, Kerry Mullis, calling Fauci a liar and challenging him to a debate and things like that. And so you're just gonna try to. Well, I'm glad I got a few people here that agree that the Vatican is pure evil. You know, you got to think anyone that would take and work hard to move priests from parish to parish to cover up raping boys, because that's basically all they do is rape boys, is pretty sick. I mean, like, I think that really wreaks a lot of destruction to a kid's mind. And not only that, you know, one thing that's real sick is in Australia this year, I guess, like, a jury had previously convicted the number 3 guy at the Vatican, George Pell, for raping 2 boys. And it's got it now. The media in Australia is very Catholic run, and it takes a lot to get a conviction against someone like that, to even get a court case like that to be heard, let alone to have a jury vote guilty. Takes an extraordinary amount of belief in the guilty verdict to have that happen. And I guess after that happened, there was another closed court hearing with only judges, and the judges overturned the jury's conviction. And so I don't know. Like, I think that's like pretty sick. And a lot of people don't know about that. And that happened this year, but there was like all that madness going on with the Black Lives Matter. And I think it all got buried. You know, hey, I'll show you something about that Vatican too. Let's see here. Vatican audience hall. It's like they don't even hide this, you know. This isn't really even hidden at all. Like, they're pretty out in your face. I mean, like, here's inside the Vatican's audience hall, right? I mean, I wish they didn't have this here, because I'd like you guys to tell me what you think of that first when you look at this. But I imagine most of you probably thought of this when you saw this. And, you know, we know what the Bible compares the snake to the devil, right? So it's just amazing that this is like so in your face. And it's like, I don't think they're hiding what they really are. You know, like, to me, the Bible, I believe the great whore is the Catholic Church of the Book of Revelations, and that's in some of my videos too, where I talk about that a little bit. I probably need to do better videos on it. I'm still trying to kind of get my feet wet and get comfortable making videos and everything, and figure out the best way to make them. But I mean, you can see that I don't think anyone in their right mind that's not under some kind of spell, just doesn't look at that and go, whoa, I'm not sure if that's the most holy thing I've ever seen in my life. And it's just, in my opinion, when the Bible, it talks about this great whore, and it's got scarlet and purple, and, you see purple and and then you just see what kind of problem they have with raping boys and all this kind of stuff going on. Oh yeah, that's the outside of it. Whoops. Let's show the outside of it. So I mean, in my opinion, that even looks like a snake's head, right? It's not. I don't think they're hiding it very much. I think it's pretty overt, when people think of it, and that whole obelisk they got in front of the Vatican, I believe they took and carried that from some pagan site and went through all the trouble of moving it all the way into the front of the Vatican. And I believe that obelisk they got right there, that's like a phallic symbol. Actually, even that's an occult symbol. I just can't remember what the meaning behind that is. And then they got the Dagons, the mitre that they put on their head, and that's from the whole Dagon religion or whatever that was, like some kind of religion that had to do with some kind of sea creature or something. It's really weird because what does the Bible say? It's something that comes from the sea, and it has 7 heads, and so I'm just kind of whipping things off the top of my head. I'm kind of like don't have that scripture perfect, but I just kind of want to share that with anyone, if they were new to that, because I know a lot of people don't know that the Vatican has this thing called an audience hall. I'll just kind of move on to the next topic, see what everyone else is saying. Offend away. I have thick skin. Oh man, I like you people. Does all these really matter? It's time to get right with God. They are going to do whatever. It's not going to stop. And I agree 100% with you. I don't see this ending. I almost think it has to just keep going this way until the very end, because and I don't see it going back to normal, because really it's like no one's waking up. I think this is the problem. I think most of the problem is the people wearing the mask. The fact that you could get this, the fact that you could even get people to do all this and do this much mask wearing and just go along with the government says a lot about what state they were already in anyway. I think all this did was it just showed you, like, in my opinion, basically the people are going to go to hell. Because I just can't see people that go along with this whole thing. And I understand some people think, oh, I'm being nice, and I don't want to be rude, and it's just a mask, and I'll wear it, because some people actually are scared and do believe it. But I personally think, dude, I know people are going to hate me for things I say. People hate me for my, for Christianity and telling them about Jesus. It's like, you're going to hate me for that too, But it's like, if I don't tell you, it's like, and you go to hell because you never heard. Isn't that kind of my fault? And I kind of feel the same way with the mask too. It's like, if I'm to wear the mask and help you to believe there's a pandemic going on, I'm helping to give you brain damage. I'm helping to cast a spell on you, because I feel like wearing this mask when there's no need to wear a mask is um I'm aiding and abetting and a lie against you. That's actually being used to control you, and I'm part of that. If I put on that mask, I am now part of that. Now, you won't wear one for work. I wear one on my chin for work, because they make me. And when I'm at a job, I don't want to wear their shirts, their uniforms and stuff anyway. So it was really hard for me to, I guess, because I feel like I'm already wearing stuff I don't want to wear, and I'm wearing it anyway. So, okay, I feel like the mask is part of it. So, but I already feel like I'm a slave while I'm at work. So it kind of like, it was harder for me to resist while I was at work, I guess. And then the fact that they let me wear it on my chin. So you can tell I think it's stupid. Half the time I have this pin on my head. So that's to help people know what I think. So I don't hate on people for doing it while they're at work. I can understand, because it's like, I was not even allowed to get unemployment. I tried to get it the weeks that they forced me to not work, because we were so dead. And I got a very essential job. So it was pretty scary if I get sent home. It's the apocalypse. I even said that when I got the job. I said, man, if I ever lose this job, the apocalypse would have to happen. And a month later, after I got the job, sure enough. But as far as like outside of work, once I punch out, I do not wear a mask, and I will not wear a mask, because I feel like that contributes to the lie. That contributes to the spell, and I'm a witch and a warlock if I wear that, because I helped cast a spell on you. The veil, okay, Leah Lawson says the veil has been lifted and the man behind the curtain is being exposed. Oswald. All right, cool. Capitalist Cat shared a link. I will be sure to check that out after the show. Rockstar 69, a political enterprise with religious control. Yeah, I would say that. Oh, Media Bear is still here. Wow. He says this has always weirded me out. That's good to know. I'd hate that if someone was like, man, I feel so comfortable. That makes me feel better. Makes me feel at ease. It's like, so that's great to know. So Capitalist says, watch this link. This sums up the Australian government. Okay, that's going to be very interesting. I'll be sure to do that. Jeff L says the Vatican is Luciferian. Gosh, I'm so glad so many people agree with that. See, that's the one thing about this, is I really feel like when you get to the center of the New World Order, that's where it's at. Because you look at everything they got their hands in, and you look at like all the most important offices, CIA, FBI, Department of Homeland Security, ICE, the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court's got 7 out of 9 judges are Roman Catholic. So gotta think, man, if you're a Protestant and like they're fully behind this whole New World Order Mark agenda or whatever this winds up being, and I go there and I'm like, hey man, you're messing with my rights. I'm gonna have to take my case before 7 Catholics and hope that they don't agree with the Pope. I mean, that's not good. FB Eugene Griffin says paganism is respect for Mother Nature. The Vatican doesn't respect Mother Nature. No, the Vatican is trying to push for this green Sabbath. They want to have this. It's all because of climate change, which I think all this is going to be tied into climate change as well. I think that's where this whole vax thing is ultimately going to go. It's I think right now they're using it to set up the biometric system that they want. And the other part of it is once they get this whole biometric and ID and identification system going on, that part of it's going to be about carbon credits and things like that. So, and I don't think the Vatican respects Mother Nature. I will say this. One thing about the Vatican is, Monsanto, when they want something passed, they don't send reps to they just send reps straight to the Vatican. And they're like, hey, I need this passed. Because there was like an article I did a video on, man. It was like several years ago. It might have been like 8 years ago or so. Basically, it showed that Monsanto sending reps right to the Vatican to try to get certain things to be allowed in governments. So they got their hands like so tied into Monsanto and everybody else, and we know Monsanto really isn't the best thing for the earth when you're changing DNA and involved in GMOs, and you're just letting that stuff go onto like farmers' land. And like it's spreading from your GMO land onto some other farmer. His farm gets, now his crops get altered by some of that pollen or whatever it is. And then your GMO markers happen to be in some of those crops. And that poor farmer can be sued, and he didn't even want your GMOs, and he's getting sued for it. Like, they should be able to be sued for having their GMOs get all over the stuff, get all over everybody's stuff. Time Cop says, go for it, Randy YouTube channel, check it out. Eugene Griffin says it's a big sky clock. I'm really not sure what you're referring to, but sky clock. Yeah, the Vatican. Sorry, man. I'm kind of so late reading people's comments. I'm real sorry. Okay, and so that was in reference to the Vatican and the obelisk and everything. Lawrence Wells says pine cone symbol represents the pineal gland. And Jay McLaughlin says pineal gland and other elements. Obelisk is sundial, question mark. Capitalist Cat says, I thought obelisks were like Egyptian statues. I believe it did come from Egypt, and they carried it all the way to the Vatican. It might be a sundial. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'd have to go look it up. I know at one time I knew exactly every purpose it had, and it's been a while. Well, that's awesome, Stephanie. I hope you never put a mask on. So weird, man. I mean, guys trying to approach girls. Hey, baby, let me see your face. It's kind of weird now. Jeff L., the Jesuit cross is a double cross, hence the term being double crossed. That's interesting. The obelisk is a symbolism for the Egyptian god and the dogs, with the dog head's genitalia. I believe the name is Horus. Yes, it is Horus. Horus. You probably just accidentally mistyped it, though. Capitalist Cat, who celebrates New Year's and sings Auld Lang Syne? I'm not really sure. Jeff L says, I used to blow stuff up for New Year's. Tom Copper says, Eye of Horus. Is that the same? And Rockstar says, a new world order and great reset requires faith like devotion, climate change evangelist, forcing food scarcity, truly evil. Yes, I definitely agree. And I agree that all those things are going to all be combined. I actually believe that all that's going to be combined. And I think there's going to be like some kind of thing going on with this whole alien disclosure, perhaps. I'm pretty sure people have heard of that. And I just keep wondering, they're going to maybe combine that with the false Messiah and somehow tie it into like the ecumenicals and the Catholics all forming some kind of new religion. I think there's like something way bigger out there on the horizon. I just can't figure it out. So well, hey, I got through everybody's comments. I'm very appreciative that everybody stopped by. I think I'm just gonna maybe go just a couple more minutes and then just wrap it up. And I just appreciate it so much, man, that everybody has stopped by. I don't know. Does anyone got anything else they want to throw out there and talk about or share? Capitalist says, I like how bees can't follow the aerodynamic rules. Stephanie Bolt says, good conversation. Well, I appreciate that. It was awesome, man, talking to all you people. I know Media Bear's got like a lot of really smart people, and I thought it would be nice just to have a few of you come over here. And so it was really nice getting to talk to all of you because I see people's comments while he's having a live chat and while he's doing a live show. And it's like, so it's really nice to have, a few of you come over here and share what you're thinking. And I guess for me, it's like I said, I lost thousands of friends this year because I was pretty popular in Indiana, like with the DJing and rave scene and going out and dancing. I was pretty popular from all that. I knew all the nightclubbers and it's just like, man, I lost a lot of friends. And then even on the conservative side, I've lost a lot of people, so especially, once I felt like I felt like Trump could have done better, and I'm sorry, man. It's like I feel like you got to call people out when they do things, man. You got to force them to live up to what they say, and that lost a lot of people. So, but I mean, to be honest, a lot of you folks, even though I barely know you, it's like you're probably like like kind of make up for like a little bit of that, like losing all those friends, man, and those people I don't talk to. So I am like grateful for that. And I imagine a lot of you feel the same way and been through like some of the same things. I know Media Bear, he's kind of echoed that himself. And it seems like a lot of us within this kind of circle, a lot of us are on islands. I mean, like we're not even in one place. We're scattered throughout the world. So a lot of the people that listen to Media Bear, it's like there's like maybe one or two of you in your town that's not wearing a mask, and then everybody else is. And we're kind of like the black sane sheep that are trying to be sane with the rest of our town, trying to convince us that we're doing something wrong by not wearing a surgical mask for a virus that only kills, at best, 99.5% of the people. And if you treat it properly, 99.9, I mean, that's got a survival rate of 99.5%. And if you give people proper treatment, like just use ivermectin, you probably reduce that down to 99.999. But for some reason, like I've said, these pharmacies if a doctor, and I've heard doctor friends of mine say this, Dr. Mo Beans said it on his show, that when people try to go, a doctor will prescribe their patient ivermectin to treat their COVID, and the pharmacist won't fill the prescription. And I know they were doing this for hydroxychloroquine too, where they were having the government said, hey, call us if a doctor writes a prescription for hydroxychloroquine to treat COVID. So the government's really working against the doctors trying to treat people. So it's not just the doctor's fault. Some of them are actually trying to do the right thing. And there's something, going on with the pharmacy that's not allowing the right thing to be happening. And like I said, if anyone goes to fishingfortruth.com, my website, there's this link to the side of the screen. It's called a COVID-19 critical care. And if you click that link, it basically it's like a link about the ivermectin protocol. But once you go to that link, there's this one doctor that's testified in front of the Senate just a few days ago named Dr. Corey Pierre. And he testified saying, and basically it sounded like to me like almost begging the government, please let us use ivermectin to save lives. And the government's just kind of like brushing it to the side. And they've been doing that ever since April. So, and I've been telling my local health department for the past couple of months that they're a bunch of murderers. I make sure every time they pop up on Facebook, they're little saying like, hey, this time of the year, when you do this Halloween activity, you need to be doing this. And that'll pop up on my Facebook feed, and I'll light into them and I'll drop links and everything. And just like, you guys are, and I'll tell them straight up, you are a bunch of murderers. You need to make this an early treatment protocol and save lives. Why aren't you telling people about it? Why aren't you telling people to at least take vitamin D? So there's something really weird going on, because it's like, you'd think if people really cared about saving lives, that you'd make that a standard treatment. And I don't want to hear, oh, the FDA didn't approve it. See, that's one of the excuses they're trying to use. But hey, in Colorado, did they approve smoking pot? Did the federal government approve that? And you still pass the law and still allow it. Why can't we pass laws and allow our own COVID protocols? Doesn't that make sense? So I'm going to try. Oh, I know one good one I'll share real quick before I end the show. Just to kind of rub it in that this is nowhere. This has nothing to do with saving lives. I want people to know this. This lockdown has absolutely nothing to do with saving lives, because this is like a world meter that lets you know, like, all the things that are happening, deaths today, population growth, and any way you get down to food, you got 850 million people undernourished in the world, right? So when you don't get proper nutrients, what kind of health problems does that lead to? And do those health problems lead to death? And wouldn't this money be better spent if we just gave people ivermectin, left everything open, and then used all that money to try to feed people? And even if you thought ivermectin was a bunch of BS, if we just would have left things open, and let's say just, a few more people die than what normally dies. I kind of think all these statistics are kind of BS, because there's hardly any proof when you look at excess death statistics to show that you got more deaths happening this year in states than you did last year, except for New York and New Jersey and Michigan. For some reason, theirs are some of the highest excess death rates in the world by percentage per capita. But other than that, you're hard pressed to find that there's a pandemic going on if you just look at excess deaths. But besides that point, you think undernourished, if we could just feed these people and give them proper nutrition and make sure their vitamin D levels and zinc levels and C levels were correct and gave them good food and helped them be self-sufficient. And we used all this money we wasted on a vaccine and wasted on lockdowns to pay people to stay home that didn't need to be paid to stay home and just would have left life normal. And look, we could save a lot more lives. We only killed supposedly only 1.5 million people died of COVID. 8 million people have starved to death this year. And I think 5 million children have died this year, and they say half of the children's deaths are due to starvation. So 2.5 million children have starved to death this year, and you're worried about these people who are fat, who have underlying health conditions, and there's a lot of people not taking care of themselves. It's not that they don't even have the money, they're just not even taking care of themselves, period. And they're dying, and I gotta wear a mask. But don't tell me that you're shutting the world down and blowing all this money to save lives when you got 2.5 million children that died of starvation. Like, and anyone that starts to tell me this is about saving lives, I like to throw that in their face. It's like you're purely sick, deranged, twisted, and just a lot of bad stuff going on in your mind. So I'll just read a few more comments. I think once I catch up, I'm going to probably end the show. Whoa, I think I'm a little down here. Let me catch back up again. Sorry, I'm going kind of fast through here. I just want to kind of speed it along. These Q&A shows are the best. Thanks. I've never put on a mask, and I'm now starting to get the shaming more than ever. PSYOP all around. Yeah, and I think it's kind of important that we do things to help break people from the spells. And I'm just glad people like this show. This is something new for me. And I just got the finances to be able to do something like this year because my other computer was horrible. The sad thing that antibiotics don't even work, as the strongest will live and then reproduce. Well, antibiotics don't work for COVID anyway. I'm not sure if that's what you were referring to, but there are infections that develop from I guess like bacterial infections that kind of develop as the COVID's like going through their system, like doing certain damage, and it's good for treating that, like doxycycline. They say doxycycline and with ivermectin works pretty good. But I mean, most of the time, all you really probably need is just ivermectin, and you don't have to die. I appreciate time, Cobb. God bless you too. Capitalist, I don't want to get fined or removed off the premises. You know what? Most of the time, I am curious. Maybe you said it in the chat, but I'm curious where you're from. Because like in Indiana, we got like there's this one place that has the biggest "you must wear a mask" sign I've ever seen. It would take up like probably my whole wall. And my wall's maybe about, well, I say that sign's almost like 18 feet long. It's like, you must wear a mask to come in here. And it's like this gaming and go-kart place I took my kids to. Well, I walked in there with no mask. It was like HIPAA. But then again, that was also Greenwood. And we, like I said, around there, we ripped the orange fencing off the kids' playground. Like there was not a trace of it by maybe the second week of April at any local playgrounds. We just, as a community, we just went around ripping it off. And so it's a little bit different with Greenwood. We were like pretty outspoken about our disgust, and we flaunted it a lot. Now I live out in Brownsburg. It's a totally different atmosphere because it's like, even though I live in like a Republican area, like people are still wearing masks a lot. Like even walking around, which I never saw out in Greenwood. I never saw a person. I mean, as soon as they get outside of a store, because they think that mandate sign that they got to obey it, they jerk that mask off as soon as they get outside the store. Everyone in the store is walking around with the mask up underneath their nose, so no one believes it. They just think because the sign says you got to do it. But just to let you know, if they got these huge signs and multiple signs and all this other stuff, like I went to the license branch and they had a cop there, and this cop's like, or a security guard's like, hey, you need to put on a mask. I was like, HIPAA. And she's like, okay. And just lets me go, So, I mean, I just say, basically, like I say, walk around with that little new version of that Pill song, Don't Ask Me, and I rewrite, and I just kind of sing that to him a little bit, and my horrible singing. So I don't know. Could be my singing that makes them go, I don't want this guy to sing to me no more. So someone says, yep, it's not healthcare, it's sick care. Yeah. Jeff L says, my friend almost got into a fight with an 85-year-old today because he was yelling at him to wear a mask and he wouldn't. Man, I have not, oddly enough, I'm really shocked I have not gotten into that because I only weigh 130 pounds. And I don't know, I feel like I typically would, for whatever reason, it feels like I'm prone to rub someone like that the wrong way. Someone that wants me to wear a mask, like they feel like, it always seems like they're extra angry at me than other people. And I don't know if it's just some kind of aura thing I'm giving off that makes them super angry. But I tell you, they will pick me out of the non-maskers to seem like I was the final straw is almost what it feels like. But I still haven't had anyone really, really flip out. So Stephanie Bolt says, yep, we're pot friendly, LOL, I'm in Colorado. The population has had more deaths from suicides for people in the lockdown. Now, that might be. I have to look up the. Actually, you know what? Probably that there is a very good possibility that's probably true. I have not checked that stat out yet. But Jeff agrees with you, so maybe Jeff knows. Suicide and respirators killing them. Yes, ventilators. I don't know if people heard my comment earlier, but I do know a doctor. And like I said, early on, I was like, hey, man, are you putting people on ventilators? And he's like, yes. He goes, I don't want the virus. I was like, did you even try to put them on CPAPs? And he's like, I don't want that freaking virus all over the place. And so he's genuinely scared and terrified of the virus. So I guess if you have him as a doctor, if you have to stay at his hospital, you're going on a ventilator. If you got COVID and you got to stay at his hospital, he's putting you on a ventilator. And I think he's doing that because he thinks it's the safest thing he can do for his staff and the other patients. So he looks at it and I'm just kind of going by this brief conversation I had with him because I can't have a conversation with him no more because I think he's pretty sensitive. But from the brief conversation I had, it just sounds like, man, you stay at his hospital, you're going on a ventilator. Capital says there is an Oxford vaccine that is a lot cheaper than the other vaccines, yet the governments don't use them. They could be saving millions of dollars. Well, probably they could save millions of dollars just using ivermectin. They don't even have to use a vaccine, and it's safe. The there's relatively very few side effects, and they just won't use ivermectin. They could have ended this whole lockdown back in late March if they wanted to. Because I think that's when I first started hearing about it. They like doctors already trying it and looking like they had data that it worked, and then they called it, oh, these crazy doctors are using anti-lice an anti-lice treatment to treat COVID, and they made them look like they were fringe crazy doctors, and they never bothered to, the media never went about saying, okay, here's their data and all this and trying to be fair. So they weren't very fair with these people at all. It's nice I got so many people from the UK. Okay, so the UK might be a lot worse with that whole COVID thing. And I don't know what your rights are depending on where you live at there. I just know, like in America, it's like there's a lot of people that could be fighting this mask thing. They keep telling me, oh man, I got to wear a mask where I live. And I'm like, what you do? And it's like I said, you can't just claim HIPAA. And they're like, but it's got a sign saying it's mandated. And I'm like, but you can still just claim HIPAA, ignore the sign, and walk in. And anyone that stops you, say HIPAA. I mean, like, I've never explained what my medical condition is or anything. I just say HIPAA. And then if they give me like a look like they're about ready to tell me something else, I'll say ADA, which is Americans Disability Act. So you can't really ask me, and you can't really deny me permission just because I got a health issue that prevents me from wearing a mask, and you can't ask about it either. Stephanie Bolt says, I'm in Colorado Springs and it's bad with the mask, but our governor is Palas the Great. So yeah, blue state mentality. Jeff L says, I don't play politics. Crap ton of Repubs in my area and they wear masks. Yeah, that's what I'm dealing with now. Jeff L says, I'm 6'2" and 260 plus pounds, so most don't bother me. He says, mandate's not law. Yeah, I always wonder, man, if they're just like, if it's my size or what, and it's like, here's a guy who's young and thinks he can just get by without wearing a mask, but he ain't too threatening looking. He's only 130 pounds. And he's 6 foot tall, so, I've got that skinny, real slight build, and I'm just wondering if that's why they pick me to judge, and the fact that I do flaunt things like this, that they think they're going to challenge me or pick me to challenge, but anyway, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. This went on for 2.5 hours. I really completely appreciate everybody who stopped by. I do these every weekend on Fridays. I generally talk a little bit about the Sabbath and things like that on Fridays, since I'm a Sabbath keeping Christian. I know some people don't believe in that, but I feel like, every Sabbath I got to kind of tie in the Bible, or else if I have a whole broadcast where I don't kind of connect things to the Bible in some way, then I'm being a little bit worldly, and I try to avoid working and doing any kind of like worldly activities on the Sabbath. So in order to do a show, I make sure I do talk about. So if you do tune into my show, it'll be about like this, with a little bit of, probably just a little bit of Bible talk, and but it'd pretty much be about like this. And I do this like every Friday. I don't have a set time. It's sort of like media bear, I guess. I mean, I try to give people a little bit of heads up, but with the kids and everything and my work schedule, it's a little bit random as to what time I'm going to be able to start. And I do try to do them on Saturdays too, if I get the opportunity, like I did today. Capitalist Cat says, Australian government is probably the most corrupt in the world. And Christoph G says, just look mean as F and wear earbuds and just keep walking. P.S. The earbuds don't even have to be on, just keep walking. Man, that's a good one too. There you guys go. That's an awesome tip. Yes, thank you so much for clicking that notifications. Make sure when you click that bell, you go all the way up to the top and click all, so you know when I'm getting ready to do a live, and do the same for Media Bear and any other channels you want to support. And I will go and take a look at the links and stuff people left. Man, you know what? I could probably gave some people wrenches. I should have thought about that. But if anyone's got a channel, as long as you're going to be cool and you're not going to, throw anyone out for any single reason at all, no matter what they say, even if they cuss you out, like I can give anyone who's got a channel a wrench. And that way, if you want to just like drop links for your channel or something, you can do that next time. Or there's some video or information you want to share, I can do that. Yeah, I'll just leave it with this in case someone didn't see this earlier. Like I said, I got this friend. She does videos too, named Stacy Kinder. And she says she'll just take medical gauze, wrap that around her neck, and just walk into stores, and she'll just point, and she'll pretend like she can't read. And she says that works too. So if you want to try doing that, you can do that. Maybe have a little fun while you do that, or maybe that gives you ideas like, oh, that's a good idea. Maybe I can top that, and think of some way of topping that ideal. That would be great. Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in, stopping by. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate all the kind words, and it was great talking to you. And I wanted to have a conversation with you all, and so I'm so glad you stopped by. So anyway, thank you.